Can you predict what happens when you make stuff out of flimsy plastic? Yep. So hopefully this one is as easy to change as the driver's side was. So it looks like it's the same as the driver's side. So that just pries off. There's a plastic cover there. That pries up. There's a plastic cover there. And then this piece here pries off. So there's should be 2 bolts behind here, 1 there, 2 there. The rest of it is held on with really strong plastic clips all the way around, so you just kind of pry off. And then this piece here, you can pry up on this and pull that off. There you go. So you just kind of pop that out. The screwdriver worked better than the pick for some reason. See if that pries off. It's got 4 little tabs. And then that one has 3. And it does seem like you almost need a screwdriver and a pick tool, because these are such tight gaps that the plastic tool doesn't get in there. There we go. That one's on really tight. You see it's held with those tabs. So with all the trim pieces exposed, you can see the various bolts. They're all 10mm. And then this piece just pries up. There's not a particular direction on it, thankfully, so you're not going to break any tabs like you do on the Crown Victoria if you pull up from the back instead of the front. And then you have on this side only 2 connectors. One is a simple press and release, it looks like, and the other one, as I recall, was a major pain to get off. Pry up, stupid tight connector. You're going to need a pretty heavy-duty plastic tool to pry this up because it is on very tight. You should be able to feel when that last one pops off because it will get real loose like this. Got a plastic tab here holding this thing on. So that was attached to the door, and then you're going to have your door handle, which should pop. It should pop out, spin, and then lift up. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it on. I don't need it at this point. I have access to where I need to be. As you can see in there, there's the broken piece. So it took a huge chunk of the door handle when it broke. So there should be, if memory's right, the 10mm bolts through there and through there, one about there and one about there. When you remove the bolts that hold this on, you really want something on your socket wrench. I use like that fun tack stuff, but basically something that will grab those bolts, because otherwise they're gonna drop down almost 100% guaranteed into the door and be a bear to pull out of there. Unfortunately, I don't find magnetic sockets to be very effective at holding stuff like this when you really need it to. See the old piece and the new one, you can see that this whole entire bracket here broke off, and this is still inside the door. So once I unbolted these, this almost fell off. This is held on by that little clip there, and normally held by this. So I'm gonna have to fish this out of the door, remove it from the little rod, and then I'll be able to reinstall, put the rod in there, fish this all in. The trick is getting this piece lined up and then obviously that lined up. And once you do, then you can bolt it back in. If you don't get this lined up, then it bulges in the middle and it looks really bad. So, like I said, that's the trick piece right there, getting that fished underneath the door. This was the piece that was still stuck in the door, and there's your door rod, so that just fished onto there and obviously pops off. Interestingly, this is metal and didn't break, and of course the plastic is what broke. There may be a piece of broken plastic somewhere down in the door. I'll look and see. Since there's not a lock on here and there's not a lock rod here, we don't have to worry about that. We just have one, which is the door rod. Again, it just gonna pop on and rotate, and then you got to kind of fish it back up into there. And like I said, the major deal is you've got that little tab in the middle that has to line up and kind of snap back that way. And now you see it's flush and ready for the bolts. Now you see I've got that fun tack stuff on there to hold that. I'm going to start it by hand. I'm probably going to block the camera when I look through here. And I'm going to tighten it down with this. Again, same thing with this one. I didn't need to pull that rubber cap off. Let's put some E6000 where the old silicone or RTV was, whatever they used to adhere that back to the door. And like I said, I find the E6000 to be exceptional for gluing stuff like this in cars. And this just kind of lifts over. And just try to feel for them to click into place. Here. And the moment of truth.